Okay. Awesome. Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
I'm so excited. Okay. Welcome to ShareTheCare. We're so excited and happy that you're here. For those of you that are new to the show, welcome. ShareTheCare is a movement with two goals in mind. One, to embrace and support all of those caregivers, those that are caring for a loved one, and we call them CareGetters. And then two, to connect those caregivers to the education and to the resources that they need to care with purpose and lead a life of ease and joy and flow, as I like to call it. And we are your co-host.
I'm Amber Girard.
And I'm Christie Freeze. And let's get to it.
Yes. So this is our first official episode. So every episode is going to be broken down into a couple of different parts. So this episode and probably the next couple will hold your hand through it and kind of tell you
what's coming next, what to expect.
Each section. So we're going to jump right in.
Awesome. So if you were following along on Care by Christie at the beginning of December, I did the 12 days of care keys to caregiving ease. And Amber always has great ideas, but a great idea that she had was to share each of those care keys with you here on ShareTheCare, one a month. So you'll get to kind of get a deeper dive into each of the care keys as we go through. And the first care key is community.
Community.
So I'm going to take the caregiver side of this care key, and then I'm going to let Amber take over the resource side of the community care key. So first and foremost, caregivers are typically looking for a community to wrap around them, support, or someone to kind of lean on, unpack what their situation is, and oftentimes that is found in a support group setting. And I love a good support group, but I caution you to find what feels good in the regard of not being in a venting circle was a really great way to kind of phrase that. And not that venting is bad or unpacking is bad, but you want to leave that experience with action items, with tools to implement, with feeling like you are less heavy and are able to move forward with that flow and ease. And then online communities, of course, are available to also be a sounding board and provide that experience as well. We have all kinds of great online communities that we can connect you to. Do you have something?
Yeah, I was going to say for the support groups.
Yes.
Christy and I were chatting about this before. A lot of feedback that we get
for sure
is I hear a lot of the same stories over and over again.
Yeah, there was a CareGetter that I had worked with last year that she had been on her caregiving journey for 10 years. And so when you're the person that's always at the caregiver support group, but then you start to feel like you're the facilitator because everyone is dumping kind of their situation and their experience on you, it kind of makes that process heavier. And so they're wonderful. They're an amazing resource. I encourage you to find one, but find what feels good.
Yeah, find what is the best fit for you.
Yeah, for sure. And then this Care by Christie, ShareTheCare, our movement and our intention is to be a nationwide resource. And so although there are care specialties like what I offer here in Indianapolis, we also know that there are care specialties in wherever you call home, wherever you are in the world. There is likely somebody that has a desire and is being called to provide those services. And so finding somebody in your area that you can meet with one-on-one and just unpack the situation, get actionable items that you can go implement right after the call. I think that is really kind of the missing piece for the caregiver community aspect of it.
Well, and I think that helps people feel like they're not just a patient or they're not just a number, that someone has taken the time to listen to them and hear what their actual priorities are, their actual concerns are.
And customize it to them, not to the 30 people in the room.
Right.
Value in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I do better. I can serve better when someone is one-on-one with me and they're saying, hey, this is my situation. This is our family dynamic. This is what's going on. This is what we've done so far. Because how my ear is already trained to respond is, okay, let's customize this roadmap, if you will, to your specific situation, to getting you connected to the resources that make sense for you right away.
Well, and I know you operate this way. I hope most care specialists operate this way, but you think you go to the doctor twice a year and think of how much can change
in a
week. In a month, in a year, and having someone who is a care specialist who is constantly checking in on you and following up, or someone who is a little bit easier to reach if something does change.
Yeah.
If something's not working, you gotta
kind
backtrack.
of like a layer. It's like it's like an onion, and there's just like multiple layers of support that are available to you, and it's just knowing. It's also, it's kind of going to take some inner work to be like, okay, well, what do I need? What is going to help me? And then finding the people that can help you do that and letting them take it from there. Yeah.
So care specialists. Yes. And if you are a care specialist across this nation and you're looking for some women to help empower you, we've got you.
We got you.
Yeah, we're very excited.
We keep calling ourselves care queens.
Yes, we are the care queens. Join our group.
All right. And then resources in the community.
Yeah, I think from a community resource space, there are a lot of things that are out there. People just don't know where to look. And unless you know specific terms that are easy to Google, or you know specifically what to ask for, you have no idea that they're out there. Yeah. So one really popular space that I think is nationwide, very easy to find, is your local YMCA. So they have, right? I feel like we need like a little intro, little music break.
Maybe they'll sponsor.
Yes. Hello. YMCAs have senior specific programming. And so they can be a great first step if you're trying to dip your toe in it. If you have a loved one who is hesitant to leave the home or hesitant to be involved in something that feels like daycare or...
It's kind of like a universal... Yeah. I did the YMCA dance just because everybody knows that. And it's to think of, I know what you're going to share next, and to think of, well, would I rather go to the YMCA or would I rather go to a senior place?
Right. It takes kind of the taboo out of it, right, if you will. I think a second tier of local resources are going to be specifically local to your area. So we operate out of the north side of Indianapolis, well, actually all of Indianapolis, yes. All the way up through the north Westfield, Noblesville. Yeah. She can go anywhere.
I can go anywhere.
So for us,
virtual, I can do it all from here.
Yeah, LA people.
Yeah.
So for us, those resources are going to look like the Prime Life Enrichment Center, the Shepherd Center of Hamilton County. You can look at other senior centers. Like again, the term senior center may turn people off, but the really nice thing about those areas or those specific centers is that they're more of a social setting.
Totally. That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah. So you're really using that time away from home to stimulate the brain, to create social interactions.
Go on a field trip.
Yep.
Yes, they do. So real quick, just a little sliding that in. I went with the Boone County Senior Center to the honey farm.
Oh, I would be in.
Yeah, it was fascinating. And they had so much fun. It was like 40 of us on a bus going down south to a honey farm just like for the day. That's stuff that they just get to do.
And Prime Life, I think 2 years ago, went to Hawaii.
Okay. We're combining our ages. I'm ready. Let's go.
I said, I would be happy to sponsor. My company would be happy to sponsor if we get to go to Hawaii.
Right.
So one of the nice things about the layout of our show is that we're hoping to have those resources on as guests. So stay tuned.
For
And
sure.
we're happy to do the legwork. Again, as we're introducing you to ShareTheCare and introducing you to the movement, we're happy to do the legwork in your community if you're not from the Indy area.
For sure. Totally.
Cool. And then lastly, diagnosis-specific centers. You guys know these. They're the Alzheimer's Association,
Arthritis Foundation.
the Arthritis Foundation, the Kidney Foundation for any of your dialysis needs, Parkinson's Foundation. So anything specific to a diagnosis, there's 99% sure there's a foundation that's partnered with it.
And those foundations and associations come with their own set of support groups and resources and tools and tips and things that can make that specific diagnosis smoother and not be such uncharted territory. For you, it's going to be a brand new experience. And when you reach out to somebody like the Alzheimer's Association or the Parkinson's Foundation, they've walked this journey with people before, and they know what the trajectory might look like, and they can help get you on that right track too.
And they are going to be able to answer questions up front that you might not have even thought that you had.
Yeah.
Or should be asking.
For sure. That's super helpful.
Yeah. So that's kind of our quick and easy.
Yes. And we'll continue to kind of unpack these, and you know, like Amber shared, we will have some of these community and disease specific resources here on the show. So keep an eye out for those bonus episodes and things that, you know, maybe if we didn't fully dive deep in this episode, watch for it to pop up, because we may take a deep dive into the Parkinson's Foundation or the Alzheimer's Association and really just show you what's available and what's out there for you.
Wonderful. Speaking of resources,
let's talk about it.
We have a sponsorship.
Yes.
So Home Care Assistance is our sponsor, one of our sponsors.
Yes, we're so thankful.
For those of you who are not familiar with Home Care Assistance, they are what we call a non-medical or a private duty home care company. Yeah. So they will go into your loved one's home, whether it's an apartment or the home they've lived in for 60 years,
wherever they call home,
an assisted living apartment, whatever. Yep. We'll go into their home and provide that one-on-one care. It could be anything as simple as picking up prescriptions and running errands, all the way up to overnight care, needing help using the restroom or getting dressed or bathing or medication. Big thing with Home Care Assistance, we have what's called the balanced care method, which is a very holistic approach. So they are our sponsor. And I will also be partnering with Home Care Assistance for our Tuesday tips and tricks. So every single Tuesday we'll have a short, I'm hoping it'll be 1 to 3 minutes tops of some type of tip or trick. And it's going to be, mine anyway, are going to be centered around specific caregiving tips and tricks.
Like techniques and
yes, ways to make the home safe, or things to introduce into a diet, or what other ones do we have?
We talked about the transferring of your loved
safe transfers.
There's a lot of good things.
There's a lot of things.
Yes.
But we're gonna have 50 tips and tricks this year.
Yeah.
That's
every
a lot.
Tuesday.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's an awesome place though for people to like. We'll have it as a highlight. We're going to figure out highlights. We'll have it as a highlight on our ShareTheCare Instagram, where you'll be able to just go to those Tuesday tips and kind of just like scroll through them and find maybe what you're experiencing in your life, pull that tip or that tool, apply it to your life. My overall arching goal is to create ease in your life.
Yes.
To overcome this kind of, what were the words that we used for caregiving that people normally associate it with? Like overwhelm.
There's a fear or a stigma of it being a burden.
Too much, stressful,
hard,
chaos. And all of those things might be true, which is why we are here to give you the tools to create some ease and flow into that journey for you.
Yes. So leading into that.
Oh yeah.
Our next segment of the show is what we call the care cues.
Q.
The letter Q.
Like a Q.
So we have people ask us questions all the time. And they're questions that people need answers to, but there's no way to really type it into a Google search bar.
Sure. Or if you did type it into a Google search bar,
it makes no sense.
It's just like pages and pages of you're like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Why?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we have those questions come in. The best way for you to interact with us, to ask us questions, would be
So you can, a couple different ways. So you can comment on our live videos on Facebook, which is where you are watching us right now if you're tuning in. And then you can always email. Some people prefer that. And Christie at carebychristie.com is the best email to send those questions to. But most frequently, we've been getting them in like a DM inbox, private message us, commenting.
If you know us personally, give us a call or shoot a text message.
Yeah, always feel free to call or text. If you
Our contact information is pretty public.
Yeah, we're pretty out there. This is like, I am just one with all of this, so it's fine. But a lot of times, if you have the question and you're afraid to ask it, just know that other people probably have that question too. And feel free to ask it anonymously too. If you don't want us to say, you know, anything about you, that's totally fine. We just know other people have these questions and we want to address what's actually going to be helpful.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Other thing too, we are a safe space. Everything is confidential in our conversations.
Yeah.
And so if you are nervous about it, just know, like you said, you're not the only one.
Right.
And that hopefully we can, if we can't answer it live, then we can at least follow up with you one-on-one. So don't feel that your answer or your question won't be answered.
For sure. Yeah, we will answer every single question. And I love that you mentioned being a safe space. I think that it's super important for people to, the conversations that I've been having recently with like the discovery calls that I've been having, people are leaving that conversation feeling a weight has been lifted simply because somebody just made them feel like they weren't going through this alone.
Right.
I've walked alongside 4,400 families that have navigated this process. So when you come as crisis mode in it, really like in the trenches, fiery, that's my favorite thing to do personally, is to kind of just like calm you back down and get you back into realignment and help you move forward.
My favorite saying is, you're at a 10 and I need you at like a 4.
I'm gonna need you at a 4. And your nervous system also probably needs you at a 4.
Yeah, your body needs you at a 4. So we have our first question today, and it is coming from Debbie C. here in Carmel. Debbie just recently had her mom move in with her because of COVID. And she, with it being our very first episode, we kind of thought this was a perfect question. Her question is, where do I even start? What do I need to know? Where do I go? Help.
Send help.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can quickly talk about what I offer, just personally through Care by Christie. Anytime somebody reaches out to me, or we have a discovery phone call, or even if we've just exchanged contact information, I am always sending people the Care Key vocab. So it's a list of, it's in my language, it's just very layman's terms, the definitions of some of these SNF, LTC, ADLs, IADLs, home care, home health, and it just, to me, equips you with the confidence of speaking to a doctor or to a nurse or to your loved one of, listen, I know you think that it is home or nursing home or nothing else, but look at all of these things that exist in between. So that would be that's my first initial kind of gift to people. And then I do have the roadmap for elder care, which is an A to Z guide, kind of a bird's eye view of starting at home with a spouse, home alone, and then walks you through about 20 pages, walks you through each home with a spouse, gives you 6 kind of tips or things to consider while staying at home with your spouse. And so those are some tools.
Intro tools.
Yes, some intro tools.
Which I love, because we forget, because we've been in this industry as long as we have.
Let's share again. I thought about this morning. That combined, I'll share. Combined, we have 30 years of experience in this space. So I just think
which is awesome.
It's so awesome. It kind of gives me goosebumps a little bit. And the reason that is because I think to to interact with us, you know that we are passionate about what we do and we know what we're talking about, but we're not new to this space, and we're not new to the experiences that families have gone through, caregivers have gone through, and it really just, I feel equipped to support in this way.
We also don't have the fear of if we don't know.
Yeah. Oh God, we'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But because of that, because of the number of years of experience, we automatically know what an ADL is. We automatically know what a SNF is. We automatically know the average length of a stay in a rehab center.
And we talk like
everybody does.
Yes. It's like
and we forget
yeah.
that it's a foreign language that we know.
For sure.
That not everyone does. So I love that that is kind of a starting point. Yeah. Also from a billing perspective, because
oh yeah,
between insurances and long-term care insurance and that whole spiral, you need to know those terms. So
you can just advocate more confidently. I think that's kind of half the battle sometimes. Yeah. Just making sure you know what you're sharing.
So if you have any questions for us for our Care Queue section,
drop them in that comment section, message us. We do have an Instagram as well. We're gonna keep ShareTheCare off Facebook just for now, but Instagram is where we will live as far as the Tuesday tips and upcoming content and exciting things that we have to share with you, and that's ShareTheCare_show, ShareTheCare show. And you can message us on any of those platforms. We would love to answer your question here live. Yes.
So awesome. Well, we are going to wrap things up. We promised you guys to stick between 20 and 30 minutes, and we are at 26. We're doing so good. So thank you so much for tuning in today. We've made it through episode 1.
We did it.
We did it.
We hope you loved it.
We also had a lot of fun setting everything up.
We did.
So maybe
check out our stories.
You'll get a behind the scenes look. So thank you for tuning in. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to us. Please subscribe to the ShareTheCare podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yes.
You can also find all these videos housed on Care by Christie's YouTube. They are also shared onto the Home Care Assistance's YouTube page. And you can join us live on Facebook the second Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. So we have all the ways that you can join us. So we're very excited.
Thank you. Bye, girls.